Yeah. So then it was perfect for me to have a little break, and now I will do a lot of studio jobs for whoever wants to have me on their album, just to have something to do, So,
Yes, that's great.
so it's actually also, what about you guys? It's a total lockdown in whole Greece, or?
Uh, we are in a lockdown situation. To go outside, you need a specific permission. But there are many people that are all around the road. You can find the supermarkets are open, but it's an unprecedented situation because we don't know how much lasts this situation. So many professionals maybe will lost their job. So it's really
awkward. It's awkward situation.
Even in Norway, that has a very good welfare system and everything. There has never ever been such high amount of workless people without work. So that sucks.
It's an opportunity for someone to be creative, like you, for example.
Absolutely.
You have other projects other than Leprous.
Yeah, I play in Rendezvous Point. I don't know if you've heard about them. Rendezvous Point. Yeah, you should check it out. It's I'll write it down. It's a prog band as well. We released 2 albums actually.
Okay.
So now I wrote it. So we toured with Anathema.
You toured with Anathema. Wow.
Right after the Leprous tour, but unfortunately only one week, and the tour wasn't planned to go as south as to Greece.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Your gig in Greece, I think it was one of the last gigs you had. Then you had the cancellations. I think.
Yeah. No. We did the whole tour actually, because this was in February before it went totally crazy. So we had 2 more weeks after the Greek show.
Okay. So you completed your tour.
Yeah, so it was perfect timing that we did the tour in February.
All right. So, Nikos, would you like to start?
Yes, I would. Okay. I would like to start asking you some more personal questions about professional playing drums. What triggered you to start learning drums, and if you had some professionals, drummers like models that inspired you to become even better, because your educational level in playing drums is really high, and I have these questions.
Thank you so much. I started to play when I was about 9 years old. In a local school brass band. My bigger sister played horn in the school brass band, and my father was kind of the parent organizer there. So that kind of, and I remember I heard, I was also always fascinated about rhythm and stuff like that. And I was introduced to stuff like ZZ Top and Dire Straits with Money for Nothing, and a little bit of Pink Floyd. So that was kind of my start. ZZ Top, Dire Straits, and Pink Floyd. That was just my father showing me stuff. I thought the drum intro on Money for Nothing by Dire Straits, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And then I quickly, I've never really been good at anything actually, but drums I really had a talent for early, and then I I understood pretty quickly that I should continue doing this and try to be just evolve. Started a band, started school brass band, and went to music high school, and then I started on the music conservatory where I met the people of Rendezvous Point. And then the ball just started rolling, and I was always very, very obsessed that I wanted to be a professional musician.
Yeah, so BAARD, playing drums was professionally yours, was your priority since your young age?
Yes, absolutely. I started with street drumming when I was 14, 15, 16 to make some money, and that turned out to be a very good idea. And and I made kind of a summer job living out of just playing drums on the street, and then it started to go viral on YouTube.
So it was easy or difficult to support yourself financially so as to be a prominent drummer?
I mean, financially, I grew up in a 100% average kind of family with just if I wanted to buy myself a drum kit, I had to pay it myself and stuff. But I always got a lot of support on being. My father drove me out to Oslo to perform on the streets in the summer days and stuff like that, because it was quite a lot of gear to handle and stuff like that. So that was pretty.
Okay.
That's been pretty good all the time, and financially, I mean, I lived home until I was 18, so I didn't need to have a full-time job while I went to high school, like probably normally everywhere. So and then I started to study, and studied, and from then I'm just. So
you were full concentrated to play drums, and you didn't have to work in a different job to support yourself.
Like private sector or something.
No, I've always done my drumming, and that was because of the street drumming was a kind of a very good money actually, just playing on the streets. So that was kind of the start, and from then I've just gone all in for solo shows, playing with bands. Bands was what is almost still the least money.
Oh yeah.
But it depends though. But yeah, I've always been very focused on how to be a professional drummer and how to be able to do different kind of gigs.
So you started to play basic stuff like Dire Straits and Big Floyd, as you said, and how the transition to progressive, more technically stuff did.
I discovered.
Can you explain more? Yes.
When I was a little older, I discovered Iron Maiden through the Rock in Rio DVD. So Iron Maiden was a big influence, and sadly, my first meeting with Metallica was Saint Anger, but I was 13 years old when that album was released, and I got that CD by coincidence, and I thought that was cool enough. I mean, Saint Anger, but then I discovered more like Enter Sandman, Samba True, and then Black Album stuff, and that was way cool for sure. But Nico McBrain was for sure a very, very good. Was for sure a very huge inspiration. And then I had a drum teacher that learned me to play in 5/4 and in 7/4 in more odd time signatures. And then I started to geek a little bit about that. I didn't really get it first because I thought everything had to be in 4. And then I got a DVD from my sister, Thomas Lang. I created just as a kind of birthday present at some time. Okay. And then Thomas Lang was doing all this kind of solo stuff that didn't even have a time. It was just like all over the time. But then I discovered Dream Theater for real via Instrumentally on YouTube. Instrumentally, that was then I started to think Portnoy was the coolest drummer ever, and then it just went on, and then it was more Porcupine Tree, Gavin Harrison. I was more into the groove section stuff, and then I checked out a lot of crazy American, Afro-American gospel drummers.
More fusion stuff, huh?
Yeah, and then Vinny Colaiuta from Sting. He's
Vinny Colaiuta, yes.
Older, so yeah, he's the big inspiration for Gavin Harrison again and stuff like that. So. And then just different stuff that came up. I mean, a lot of metal, Paul Gilbert stuff, and Dio, Judas Priest, but also the prog side with Dream Theater, Porcupine Tree, a little bit Meshuggah. Meshuggah was later. Pain's Mind, stuff like just Norwegian prog bands that had a little different kind of rhythmical. And also I had a big interest for East European folk music with strange time signatures, and in general I was very thought it was very cool with different time signatures and all kinds of music. I tried to play a lot of different stuff, even big band stuff, but I didn't really listen to other stuff than just metal and prog. That was the only thing I listened to when I was like 16, 17.
Bard, what would you advise to someone who start to play, learn drums, or generally has passion for music and he's trying his best to succeed? What would you advise him to do?
Yeah, I often get that question, and I mean, first and foremost, depending about your age and a little bit stuff, you just need to find out, just try to find the joy in music and have fun, check out music, get inspired, and I mean, everything you want to do seriously, you will always sometimes hit the wall a little bit, that you feel you don't get any further, and just say to yourself that this is a part of the process, and it can't only be fun all the time, and it's a lot of hard work, and a lot of times you just feel like, oh.
Yes. I understand.
But also record yourself with a video or anything. And then I had I practiced and played the drums all the time, but I didn't feel that I got any better all the time. But then I saw videos, for instance, from a live concert I did in 2008, and then I saw a live concert I did in the end of 2008, and then in 2009, just my father was filming different concerts, and then I just saw myself play.
I understand. Bart, do you feel that that the feeling of completeness is something that tends to be faded when a band starts touring or participating in big festivals? In your case, for example, are you still living the dream?
Very, very good question, because I've always done music, and I played so many concerts, even from I was like 15, 16 years old every time. So to be honest, it's very hard to constantly be motivated in every single concert you do, because it's a part of your daily life.
Yes.
But I mean, stage diving in Greece, of course, I remember that.
Yes, that was a huge moment.
Yeah, and also some stuff you remember more than other. I don't know, but in 2012, I attended the V-Drums World Championship, and I won that whole. That was in 2012, and here I was. You can see it here. I won that thing, and this is like big. This is the boss of Roland, and I'm just 20 years here and get that grand prize, and I didn't expect that at all. So that is kind of, that was a huge moment for sure, winning that whole tournament. So, yeah.
Perfect. I think that practicing is undoubtedly the primary factor to become a successful player. Is there something else that equally play a role in becoming a successful player, like let's say listening constantly music? Yeah,
listening constantly to music is extremely important, and many times I have to remind myself that I need to do it, because like my problem is that I have way too much to choose between in these days. You know, Spotify, it's way too much out there. It's like you just get instead of like really enjoying the CDs you have. I really missed that time though, even though I'm still pretty young, so I grew up with the download stuff, and but still you could have CDs and stuff when you were in like 2004, 2005. But yeah, appreciating music and really listen and explore all the time is, but you know, it's so much out there. It's so much good stuff, but it's also so much crap. I mean, it's released 25,000 songs a day worldwide, maybe more. So it's but yeah, extremely important to stay inspired and just listen to the music for the sake of music. A little bit problem of being for me has been that I'm doing this for a living all the time, so sometimes I end up only listening to my own band's rough mixes when we make a new album, and I need to listen to all the demos I need to learn for the session jobs, and then I just realize I'm just listening to stuff because I have to, not because I want to.
Yes.
And So sometimes I kind of am a little bit jealous just on the fans, because the fans just listen to everything they want all the time and they're 100% passionate. But music is not always only passion for me. It's also just business, you know.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I would like to ask you if you sometimes feel the need to abstain from music, either as a listener or as a player, for example. And what things you choose to do to spend your time during your spare time, you know?
Cool. I mean, my life is like, it's sometimes difficult being a drummer like this, touring with bands. Like I look at it as more as a lifestyle rather than just work and free time. But now, for instance, it's been a lot of series and stuff. I really like. I'm a very social dude, so I like to be with my childhood friends and my family and stuff like that. I really appreciate that.
Yes.
So, but that can just go out and have some drinks. I mean, I really appreciate, but I don't really have any hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have that.
You have the best hobbies.
Yeah.
Playing drums, it's a really, really good hobby.
Yeah. I love skiing though, downhill skiing, but I went there in January at a cabin in Norway, and then I realized it was 6 years since last time I did.
Wow.
So time flies when you're a touring musician. Time just disappears. In the Easter, you're normally on tour, so you don't get to, yeah. Yes. And I also have this kick slip project that is DJ and drums, and that's not really a hobby either. It's a job, but still that feels sometimes like a free time.
Mm-hmm. Do you hang around with the other guys of the band, except your gigs or rehearsals or studio albums or tours? Do you hang around, in a personal level?
That's very, very rarely. Very rarely.
Yes.
But that being said, earlier today I was with Tor, the guitar player. I've been with him the whole day today. But that was because we had to empty all the gear from the tour from my parents' house to his parents' house.
Oh, okay.
So that was, again, our job. So, yeah.
Okay. So
that's cool. That's cool.
Yes, that's very cool. Okay, so I would like to talk about your latest release, your latest album, Pitfalls, which is, in my opinion, your best till now. Do you agree with me? Is this your best work till now?
Oh, that's so hard to say, because I really felt that when we. Yeah, I think if I want to put on a record now to show to, let's say, just a musician friend that is not into Leprous at all, then I would definitely show this album.
BAARD, in your opinion, what are the most important changes that the listener will feel considering, let's say, the style or the sound of Pitfalls compared to the previous works you've done?
I mean, the problem by judging your own music like that is that I've kind of been on the process the whole way to see how these songs change. So it's sometimes difficult to jump out of your own box and try to listen, like, how does this actually sound for normal people and stuff like that. But I know now that it's a straighter album in many ways, but it's still, production-wise, it's a lot more low end, a lot more top. It's like it's a better mix, though, in my opinion, because it just sounds way more expensive somehow. But for someone that feels overproduced. But but the drum sound is really, really massive in many ways, and still acoustic, and that's what I really like.
Yes. Bart, were these changes, were these thoughts matured somehow in your mind long ago, or spontaneously emerged while making the record?
I mean, I'm not the main songwriter. The main songwriter is Einar, and the songs kind of sets the standard for what kind of genre it is or whatever like that. But I mean, there's no doubt that he wanted to evolve a little bit from the very proggy stuff, that it's more about hooks and not hooks, but like an overall feeling, mood kind of thing. So yeah, different music requires different new stuff. But for me, on Pitfalls, there was a lot of new challenges for me, just to be aware of like every single stroke I hit, I wanted to have a meaning. So for instance, for the first, I have done Congregation, Malina, and Pitfalls, and for the first time ever, we started to have like funky beats, like stuff like that, and to make that fit in a Leprous situation, that is very difficult. So that was a very cool challenge, to make that fit without being tacky or just strange. A lot of those rhythmical elements. So yeah.
Yes. You know, we watched you live in Athens, and we were amazed by the sound quality you achieved. It was really blowing. You know, and that quality helped to communicate your music even better to the crowd. So tell me, how much work does this take to result such an excellent performance?
I mean, sound-wise, it's of course important that stuff is arranged and everybody is very, very aware of what they play. No one just plays stuff in Leprous live without knowing 100% what they are doing. So it's all practiced a lot, rehearsed, and like working very much into details on sounds. And last but not least, we have a sound engineer at the front of house desk. That is just amazing.
Yes.
It's just extremely good. So that's probably a lot of the answer.
Do you work as a group, or mostly, you know, alone as a unit, and then result your performance to each other? How do you rehearse as a band?
Yeah, that's both actually. We send stuff to each other. We have the demos. We send stuff. I can send videos of my drumming.
I understand.
We kind of we kind of do stuff like that, and also I'll have one of the guys coming over to me. I present the drum IDs. They say what they want to say, and we just have a constant communication.
Do all the members participate in the composition, Bart?
Yeah, I mean the Price, for instance, the song "The Price" and "Illuminate," they are 100% based on the drum groove. The drum groove was the first that came. And same with the song called Down. That was also. But other than that, I'm a rhythmical dude, more arrangement into that kind of stuff. So I can set the standard for drums and bass section, stuff like that. But for instance, the song "I Lose Hope" is also was a very open process. Just had to play some beats and make it work, and then the song structure was made based on that.
We agree that the production of Pitfalls is inviolable. So how exactly did the orchestration took place? Would you like to explain us?
The orchestration?
Yes.
What do you mean with that? Do you mean like
you know, the play, which one of you did exactly had the idea, the writing, the composition, all of the stuff.
The sound design.
Yes, the sound design, of course.
Yeah, it was a long process, but for the first time, these songs weren't based on guitar riffs. Very often on Congregation and a little bit Malina, it's somehow a guitar riff. But it was more and more synth. But on Pitfalls, some of the sketches didn't even have guitar. So then it was more up to the guitar players to find out how can I contribute with something here, and can I contribute with something? Who knows? So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but for the drumming also, there was planned to have more electronic loops and stuff, but I'm not very good at that. So I tried to make it work all on acoustic, and I really prefer acoustic.
Mm-hmm.
So almost everything you hear on drums, except the verse of At the Bottom, is acoustic. But I use small snare drums to get a more kind of on some things, and I also have a clap stack that sounds like a hand clap, but it is 3 cymbals stacked up on each other. So we work really well on.
Yes, you achieved a massive result, man. You achieved a massive result.
Yeah.
Was it recorded in one studio, or you used one studio?
Sweden. Yeah.
Yes, Sweden, huh?
Same as one that has done like Candlemass, Catatonia, stuff like that. So.
What prompted you to give, let's say, a more pop aesthetic to your latest work, and also what effect does this have to your fans and listeners till nowadays?
Yeah, I mean it's for sure a way. There's one track that really sticks out to be very poppy, and that's Alleviate.
Yes.
And I mean, it's not that everyone in the band always agrees on every song or every section. That it's like we also have disagreements within a band, like all other bands or all other companies. They don't agree on everything. But when we released Below, for instance, the first time that was, we got a massive. It was from the fans and stuff. It was only thumbs up. And same with Alleviate. But of course, a lot of. Even when we released From the Flame as the first single from Alina, even though it's in 13/8 time signature, people thought it was poppy. So there will always be people saying different stuff, and I mean the band have always evolved. Each album is pretty different, and you cannot expect from Leprous anymore to get the same album over and over again. It will be different kinds of music as well. What you can hear, it's of course Einar's voice. That's the same kind of, that's the same voice, but also his singing style changes. He's not doing any growling anymore, and then also other instruments. So it's very hard to say, but of course we get some haters and we get some fans that I was just fanned by them, but yeah.
Yes, but you feel like you progress. You feel like you progress. Your work and yourself.
I would say so.
Albums. Yes, yes. So you give me the opportunity to ask you, what should we expect from the band, from Leprous, from now on? What should we expect next?
Yeah, it's going to be way more touring now. We need to tour way more with this album, and then there will be a new album sometime, but we don't know when yet.
Have you write something? You have something?
No, not really for the album yet.
Oh, okay. So we should expect touring, as I can see. Okay. Bart, would you like to tell us something, for the fans to know something that we missed to ask? And you want to share for the Greek fans?
I can say that we love playing in Greece. We really want to play in Thessaloniki as well next time we come to Greece. Not only Athens, but also Thessaloniki.
We enjoyed your gig. It was perfect. I have to be honest that Pitfalls and your gig in Athens was the main cause that you blow my mind away. I need to confess that. Before Pitfalls, I have to be honest. I was not such a fan. I have to be honest. But now, your tracks in this album are my ringtones. To my
what's your favorite songs on Pitfalls?
It's Below. It's Below express me the most, but the whole album is a complete project, and I have written to a CD for my car, for my house. My girlfriend think I'm crazy, but I don't care. I'm a huge fan.
What about you guys? What's your favorite Leprous?
From Pitfalls, because when I first listened to the Congregation album, really blew my mind.
Yeah.
And my favorite tracks is from this album and also Malina.
Yeah.
But from Pitfalls, I'm a big fan of I think the second track, I Lose Hope. I Lose Hope.
Yeah.
I lose hope.
I really like your groove and the guitar riff really accompany the overall background really.
It's very bouncy for sure.
Yes.
It's a very bouncy track. So glad you liked it.
Yes.
But Below and Alleviate has the most commercial refrain, for example. It's really something. The voice of Einar, and it's a melody that really stuck in your head, and it's difficult to take away from this.
Yeah.
But
You can understand.
It's really tough to choose, because let's say that in the last track, "The Sky is Red," is where you you give your soul, man, to this track. "The Sky is Red" is excellent. It's perfect. So it's hard to choose. It's a fulfilled project. This is my opinion. That's why I say, because I've heard your previous albums as well, and yes, they are in a high level position as well. But Pitfalls, I think that you've managed to put more elements, you managed for more people to hear you and pay attention to what you have to give. And I think that your next projects and albums are going to be as surprising as well. This is my opinion, and I think this is what we expect from you.
Okay. Hey there, all Greek people, fans. This is BAARD from Leprous, and the cool show on the whole tour was at Fest Club. So please come back when we come back to Greece, and hopefully we will play more cities in Greece than only Athens next time. So enjoy the interview.
For sure, and I think I think Leprous is one of the most successful contemporary progressive rock metal band. And I think that the fans of Leprous is really engaged with the band. So what you achieved is the really high engagement of the fans, and it's really something. Because many bands experiment in a different way to create a unique sound, and during this process lose some of their fans, create some haters, but earn some fans also. And I think that is important for Leprous fan, the engagement.
We need to risk something for sure. We cannot just do the same.
Yes.
But I totally respect that people enjoy the previous albums more than the newest one, or they prefer some songs. Of course, it's a different opinion. So, yeah, thank you so much, guys, for great questions and stuff. And just feel free to send me the link when the interview is published.
Thank you so much. It was a great honor for us. BAARD, it was a great honor.
Great honor. The pleasure was ours to have you in our chat, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, BAARD. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a good time.
Bye.
Bye.